All right, welcome back to another episode of Scene Interpretation. I am Dr. Sophia Murphy, a licensed mental health counselor here in Arizona. And if you've been listening to any of our previous episodes, know that I have considered myself one of the biggest cinephiles out there. And so basically, I'm getting to live my dream, hanging out with some of my favorite people, getting to chat about them watching a movie for the first time, and basically just living my best life. So today, I have one of my dear best friends, T, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yep. My name is Terrence Young. Sophie is a great doctor. I think you should come and see her.
So he can recommend me. I am
Yes.
not using this podcast to solicit for new patients. However, I am using my therapy brain and hat to look at movies through a psychological lens. And again, really, this is just an excuse for me to drag my friends into this room, hang out for an hour, 90 minutes, and just chit chat, which we would be doing anyway.
Right.
So
Exactly.
now I get to do it for funsies. So I'm so excited because I think out of most of my guests, if not all, you are a huge movie fan.
I am. Yeah.
So far, we've had people who've never seen movies like Jaws, Jurassic Park, classics,
I just looked at that.
which is, I know, it's so fun though, because it's like things that just slip by
Yeah.
people. So for you, it was really exciting because we were like scratching our heads. Like, what's a great movie that we can sink our teeth into that you actually haven't seen?
Right.
So I'm excited for where we landed because today we're going to be talking about Parasite. And Parasite, at least for me, because I don't really watch a lot of Korean films, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember, because I'm such an Oscars stan,
hmm
all the buzz it was getting, and it won the Palme d'Or. And I think it's one of only like 3 movies in history to win both the Palme d'Or and Best Picture at the Oscars.
Wow.
So it became like groundbreaking 101. And
Yeah.
if you listen again to any of these episodes, that's my favorite phrase to use about the movies we've been talking about.
Right.
Groundbreaking for different reasons. And this movie was really impactful because of the culture. I love a movie with subtitles where I have to really like think outside the box.
Right.
And I just love seeing all these actors that I don't personally have a relationship with in the storyline that's like pretty dark and pretty affecting.
Yeah. It was.
So I guess just to get us started, I kind of know the answer to this. But what was your relationship with this movie at all before we picked it?
I actually had never heard of it, and I was so surprised because it did take us 3 times of
Yeah.
you suggesting movies
Lists
that I
of
hadn't
movies.
seen.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
so it was nice. But when I took a look at it, I was like, okay, this sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Something different.
very different.
Yeah.
And I know we were just talking about it before we got on mic, but the other thing that stood out to me was I remember really liking it, but I don't know if I loved it the way that everybody loved it when it was first coming out.
Right.
So I was reflecting for the rewatch around like, when was this? And it was early 2019.
Oh, wow.
And so we were almost exactly a year out of the world ending with COVID.
Right.
And so what's fascinating is rewatching it now, having lived through COVID, being in the administration that we're in, watching the world burn, seeing the divide get bigger and bigger, even in our own country.
Mhm.
I'll just start out by saying it hit me way more effectively this time.
I could see that. I kind of wish I had seen it when it first came out because I think I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
The did It was kind of weird because it did fit today's society right now.
Right. It
It-
just really hit so many of my own personal feelings. And we're going to get into all the details,
Yeah.
but even just from the introduction of the Park family,
Right.
I was so skeeved out by them almost instantly. And I
yes.
don't remember feeling much of anything before.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and there was a lot going on back then too,
Right. For
which
sure.
I'm still surprised I had never heard of this movie.
I'm really surprised too, because again, like you like movies
Yeah,
and
I
you
do.
watch so many movies. So I think this is one of those fun things though, is like sometimes things just fly past our radar
Right.
and then we get to see them. And now it's like, oh, what a cool experience to have.
Yeah.
We get to have it together.
And we get to talk about it, and now I want to recommend it to other people.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that part too.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's one of those that if you like a movie and you like a thinker
Mhm.
and things that are going to like hit those different emotional points, this has all those parts
Right.
wrapped up in one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
For sure. So let's see, where do we want to start? So I guess because you didn't know about it, this might not hit as hard. Fun fact, it became the first non-English film to ever win Best Picture.
Really.
Yeah. So knowing that history now, I wonder how it shapes maybe how you felt about the movie and understanding like maybe the moment that it hit.
I could see why it made that award because it was just it was definitely groundbreaking because there's so many movies. I don't think that they change the style. It's like it keeps
Mm,
going over and over and over again.
that's a good point.
I heard,
Recycling.
yeah, I heard there's another Parent Trap movie coming out. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this number five,
Right.
six? Toy
That's a good
Story,
point.
we're at five, six.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Scream 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was something that was different, which was very refreshing,
Yeah.
even in a dark way, because this
Yes.
was definitely a dark movie.
Oh, for sure. And I remember too, I didn't really know much about it other than it was getting a lot of buzz.
Hmm.
And I kind of have a vague memory of thinking it was going to be more of an explicit horror movie, which may be some of my own just like cultural bias. Like
Oh,
I think Korean and I think it's going to be more like a traditional horror, like jump scares and
right.
gore. And it wasn't that at all.
Yeah,
And at the same time, though, it ended up being pretty horrifying
right.
just in its themes.
Yeah, it was definitely because
Like,
I think I was coming in just based off of what I had read. I
okay.
was coming in the same view as like,
Yeah,
okay, this is going to be like a psycho thriller,
sure.
and
Exactly.
it was more thought provoking, I think.
Yeah, that's a
Than
good way to put it. And the acts, I think, are very distinct.
yes,
Like the way it starts, and it's very almost like sad and somber, then it gets very like light and everything's working out and everything's going well. And then
right,
it gets so fucking dark.
right, exactly,
So dark in the
right,
end to where you're just kind of left like reeling.
right.
Yeah, I very much had that experience too.
Well, when I first started, I was like, okay, why am I watching this movie? It's kind of it starts off a little slow,
Yeah, for
but
sure. You're
then
just
it
like
just kind
hanging
of
out with these
builds.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so part of it too was that a lot of the marketing when the film was coming out was very much devoted to not spoiling anything about the
Oh,
plot.
nice.
So how did you feel going in completely cold?
Again, it was definitely refreshing because there's so many spoilers for movies nowadays.
Yeah.
I love Marvel movies. I'll watch Marvel movies no matter what, but people stop putting the spoilers out two
Yeah.
days after the movie came out. Wait for
Right.
a week. Let other people experience the same thing.
I agree. I hate when people have to get online and just talk it up, at least not without some sort of warning.
Right.
Like, I want to go in without the hyper marketing and
Hmm.
without even the trailers spoiling
Yeah.
everything nowadays. Like, I definitely just remember not having any idea what I was getting
Right.
into, even though I was aware of it and following its like ascension to
E-
the Oscars.
Exactly. Well, in a
Yeah,
lot of movies, they have those trailers, and that's the best part of the movie.
that's true.
And
And
so
then
it's like,
sometimes there's things in the trailers that aren't even in the movie,
right, exactly.
which is my other pet peeve. I'm like
Well,
waiting for a scene and it never happens.
well, as long as they're going to make it better. So use that trailer as, hey, come watch the movie. And it's like, oh,
Right.
yeah, by the way, that's not in the film, but we're going to make this even better and
Right.
really shock you.
I know.
So,
That's interesting.
yeah.
So I guess walk me through the moment maybe the tone of the film shifted and what came up for you. How did you feel when maybe you realized that this wasn't exactly what you thought you were going to be watching?
I like the fact that it wasn't what I thought I was going to be watching.
Yeah.
It kind of, it had its left turns quite a few times.
Yes.
The whole forgery and him getting the job and all that. So I was like,
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of basic, blah, blah, blah. And then he started adding the family, and I was like, okay, I thought I knew where this was going.
Yeah.
And then that left turn of finding the housekeeper's husband. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is he down there?
Right.
And how long has he been down there? It's just
Absolutely.
kind of crazy.
And I remember having this sort of like slow burning dread because it just seemed too good to be true, right?
Right.
Like, especially by the time, to your point, they're hanging out in the house, the family's gone camping,
Mhm.
they're eating all the food, they're drinking
Yeah.
all the booze, they're just out of control.
Right.
They're so confident in like how far they've come in this scam, like nothing bad could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never saw the housekeeper coming back
No.
as where this was going to go.
Right.
And I just remember thinking like something bad has to be on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I still had no idea how crazy it was going to get.
Well, even when she came back,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but she forgot something, maybe a
Right.
picture or something like that. And
Yeah.
then there's a whole, because I knew there was something going on downstairs in the basement. That's kind of the whole
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but then when there was a whole other like building underneath there,
Yes.
and then her husband is there, and he's
Yes.
a little psycho.
Oh, literally. I mean, he's been living in isolation basically for so long.
Right.
Other than when she could come like sneak things to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
that it's just like he's not even like a functioning person
Right,
anymore.
exactly.
He's literally like a shell of himself.
Right, and
Even the fact that she gives him food in what looks like an adult baby bottle
yeah, yeah.
was so interesting to me when I was rewatching it. I was like, that has to be intentional, right?
Maybe because, if you remember the father, when he came in, he was drinking something and it looked like a, squeezy bubble.
Oh, that's true. Almost
Yeah,
like a Capri Sun.
yeah.
That's true.
So,
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
really feel like it had like a full like nipple on it, like an actual baby bottle.
It could have been. It could have been. I'm gonna have to rewatch certain parts of it.
It was so interesting. I mean, what do you remember feeling when they're going down there with her, the housekeeper, the former housekeeper, and it just keeps getting more bizarre?
A little bit of dread because I was like, something bad is coming
Yeah.
because they're walking too slow. It's
Yes.
getting a little too dark,
Yes.
and where the heck are they going?
Right. Absolutely. And I remember thinking too, there's an interesting line after all the struggle to like get the house back in order
Mhm.
and get that guy back down under the house, and I can't remember his name, the housekeeper's husband. And Mr. Kim is like down there with him and says like, "How do you live like this?"
Right? Yeah.
And then he says, "A lot of people live underground in semi basements, which is where the Kims
Exactly.
live."
Exactly.
And so it was just so fascinating, almost like they had deluded themselves
Hmm.
by the scam that even now they seem to be judging this man
Right.
who lives in this underground home when they do too.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. And
Yeah.
it kind of caught me when he said it. I was like,
Yeah.
buddy, you're doing that right now, and your place is worse.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that some of those scenes were the most like skin crawling scenes for
Oh,
me
yeah, the
of
fumigation, and they're just sitting through it.
yeah, trying to fold the pizza boxes so they
Right,
can make
yeah,
some money. It was
yeah,
just so distressing. And then even when the flood happens and the daughter's just like sitting on the toilet as it's
yeah,
overflowing so she can still be on her phone
yeah,
and get
and
cell phone
smoking.
service. Oh, it's smoking. That's
Yeah,
what it is
and
too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"There's shit coming out of the toilet."
Literally shooting out.
Yeah,
And the only thing keeping the lid on is her weight.
yeah, and she's smoking, and her hands have shit on it.
Ugh.
It was like, "No."
And the desperation of them just being, I guess, relieved that they escaped from the house without
Yeah,
getting caught, but also just so dissociative, this is their reality.
right. Well, and I think, Kevin thought something as he was coming down the stairs after they escaped, and
Mm,
remember his dad turned around and is like,
yeah,
"What's going on?" And it's almost like the wheels weren't turning,
right.
and it was like, "Okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing what we're doing."
Yes. Well, and that leads into a very interesting arc for him too of like trying to make it right. His solution ends up to take the stone back in and kill them
Yeah,
to make sure that their secret is safe as if they can still maintain this facade.
right. And I would have been curious if I could see him killing the parents,
Yeah.
but killing the daughter, he liked the daughter.
Well, no, I think he was only going back to kill the ex-housekeeper and her husband.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was my read on it, was
Yeah, I
that
could see that.
his solution was to, like, almost make it up to his family
Right.
since they'd been caught.
Yeah.
He was gonna go down with the stone and basically just bash the 2 of their heads in, and then I guess live happily ever after?
Because nobody would have known. The family, the
Correct.
mom was clueless completely.
Oh my gosh.
She just
Which I felt like that really mirrored so much of, like, this American idea of the mom who just stays home.
oh, yeah.
I mean, she was always asleep too, so I didn't know
She
if we were
was drugs,
yes.
drinking.
We're talking about, like, the drugs and the alcohol, and she's just, like, napping all
Yeah,
day and then has all these people doing all these errands and chores
right.
and basically keeping the entire house going, and
Yeah,
she's just pretty in there.
right, exactly, which is what Mr. Kim wanted
Right.
because when dad asked him if you loved her,
Right.
he couldn't answer that.
Right.
It's
He's
like,
like, "We'll call it love,"
yeah,
which was also skeevy
right. It
and
sounds like a
interesting.
plastic family.
Right.
Yeah, you have 2 kids,
Oh my gosh.
housekeeper, the model-looking wife.
Yes. The driver,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the housekeeper also cooks, cleans,
right.
does everything,
Yeah, so mom
walks the
does
dogs.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just around
Right, right.
and always frustrated with her kids, which I thought was interesting
Yeah.
too. Like all those subtexts, or not even subtext, they're pretty much in your face
Right.
tropes around like, yeah, I like that idea of like the plastic family or like the model family where it's just plug and play in these roles.
Yep.
It, then the relationships are so bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It kinda tripped me up a couple times.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of in that same vein, I'm wondering if there were any specific scenes that maybe really made you pause or take a step back, either because they were tense or because it was really something you weren't expecting.
Definitely when they were going downstairs.
Yeah.
That just kinda totally I was like, I did not see that coming at
Yeah.
all. And part of it was almost like a double thing because I was like, "Okay, maybe she's leading them downstairs to kill them
Yeah.
or expose them or
Yep.
something."
Yep.
And then there was so much room down there. I was like, "Okay, maybe there's a family down here."
Oh, you were getting close then.
Yeah, yeah, and
Their
then
family.
and then, her husband's down there. It's like, "Wait a minute. Okay."
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
I remember thinking that I thought the housekeeper was just drunk.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
she was, like, depressed because she
Yeah.
lost the job, and that she was just kind of out of her own mind and
Right.
maybe just, like, wanting to not leave the house, like, she wanted to get back in the house so she would never have to leave
Oh, right.
and, like, cause a scene. I never in a million years imagined that there was gonna be another person down there
No,
and
not
that
at
they
all.
had been keeping the secret since the house was built
Right,
with
exactly.
the previous
Yeah,
owners. Like, never could have imagined
right.
that.
Well, and it's
Um
funny that she cut the, surveillance.
Yes, because she knew how to do it
Yeah. Yeah,
to
it's like,
protect herself.
"Why did you do that?"
Right. And that's where I was thinking too, like, she's just drunk and unhinged,
Yeah, doubt.
maybe both.
Yeah, she was definitely
Um,
unhinged.
but that scene really struck me, and then there's the scene where we put 2 and 2 together about the incident that happened with the Park's son
Oh,
on his
yes.
birthday,
Yeah,
and that he saw a ghost, and the ghost was the husband coming up from the
right.
staircase, and that
Insane.
shot of just his crazy
Googly eyes.
eyes
Yeah, it was
and the
like
little voice earth-shattering
mhm.
scream where he went into a seizure, I mean, that again, I was like, "Oh, it was almost Shakespearean in how it came together,
Yeah.
where, like, all these kind of, like, seemingly innocuous little incidents lined up so perfectly for a tragedy."
No, I agree, and then everybody started dying.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly, it's like a
what?
domino
Yeah.
effect. Yeah, and so I would say the other scene that really shocked me was when the ex-housekeeper's husband invades the party
Right.
and stabs Jessica.
Yeah, for what reason?
I mean, I was just, like, dumbfounded.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I guess his reason was because the wife died.
and I thought he was gonna go after mom because she's the one that kicked her down the stairs with the
Right.
head injury, and that's kinda what kinda pushed him over the edge.
I mean, I think that was probably his ultimate goal because when he was stabbing Jessica, he's shouting the mom's name
Right.
because the wife had said to him, "Remember her name."
Right.
But again, I don't think he was all there.
No,
Like,
no.
at that point, he's all bloodied in his face from, like, hitting his head on
Mhm.
the Morse code button or the
Right.
light switch, and then he's, like, seeing son for the first time in
Yeah.
how many years? I can't
I
remember.
think it was like 5.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
the owners had been there, and I think he just killed the first person out of the family that he could find
Yeah.
and probably would have tried to kill them. I mean, I think he did try to kill her.
Yeah.
She won,
Well, and I think
but
he was gone prior to that.
yeah.
Just staying in isolation like that, it just and all those because he was down there because of all the debt collectors, but
Right,
slash loan sharks
right,
wanted to kill him.
right. I mean,
So
he was just, like, really unhinged, I think, at that point.
yeah, yeah.
It was wild. Um,
So
yeah, so
towards the
fascinating.
end, though, it was kind of crazy when Kevin woke up in the hospital after brain surgery and he kept
Yeah,
laughing.
yeah.
And then at the end, he's doing Morse code or writing something. And I'm like, okay, was this whole story all in his head?
Oh, I never thought of it that way. I
It,
mean, that would be a wild, like, Christopher Nolan style
yeah.
twist at the end.
Yeah. It just seemed a little weird because he was
Yeah,
working on that Morse code because he did have that like alternate reality where he bought the house with his
right.
mother and all
So
that
smart.
stuff. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, dad finally came out. It's like, okay,
Right,
well, how did he get to that point? Because he still looked young. Dad still looked young.
right,
And he hadn't been down there that long because I saw the beard.
right. So I do think we're supposed to interpret it that the buying of the house was the fantasy,
Yeah,
and that was all in his head. But that because he was cracking the code that his dad was down there, he was kind of unable to accept the reality that his dad would be down there forever.
right.
And so he was like back and forth between the fantasy of buying the house
Mhm.
and then just sticking with the letter from the dad. That's kind of how I took
Mm.
it.
Yeah, I could see both sides though,
Yeah.
because it just seemed weird at the end, and it's like,
Yeah.
is this all fantasy?
I mean, I think it was supposed to confuse you.
Yeah, it
I think
did.
that was the goal around just like, could they possibly still get away with this and be okay? I
Right.
mean, obviously the daughter can't come back, and at least they
Yeah.
all agree on that.
Yeah.
Nobody's in denial that she was murdered. I do think, though, we're supposed to kind of be grappling with this idea that they had this sort of, again, like false sense of security. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
the son is deluding himself again that he's going to somehow ever save his dad and
Right.
they're going to somehow ever have a happy ending.
Well, because he always kept having a plan, a plan, a plan.
Right.
And then dad goes, "That's why I don't have plans because anything can go wrong."
Right. The best plan is no plan.
Right.
I know. I think that part felt really heartbreaking this time watching it too. The
Yeah.
son's like, his need for a plan, it was really in the realm of delusion.
Yeah.
Because everything was just stacked against them with how corrupt everything was. And
Right.
just again, that class divide. And it just seemed like it was almost impossible for them to ever pull themselves out of that situation.
Well, and even when they did, to
Yeah.
that certain extent, the smell,
Yep.
and that was
Oh, I'm so glad you
it's
said
like
that.
that was kinda getting to me a little bit.
Yep. So I had a question. So the smell is like a recurring, almost unbearable symbol throughout the
Mhm.
film. And it's something that the Kims can't hide no matter how hard they try. And so what did you think about that as almost like an underlying theme throughout the story? And just kind of like what it's like if maybe people have something that they can't ever fully get rid of that other people dislike.
I think it's like that rich poor. No matter
Yeah.
how rich you get, there's always somebody richer, and they're
Mhm.
looking down on you.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do,
Yep.
it's never gonna change.
Yep.
And so it wasn't about him not having any money, it's they could smell the poor,
Right.
and they just didn't like it
What
because it
I
was
was
alien to them.
wondering t I know, and I was wondering too because we didn't get a lot of history on the Parks from my memory,
Mhm.
so I didn't know if they came from money or if Mr. Park had, like, self-made himself into a millionaire.
I think he had self-made himself because it was big in technology,
Right.
and so he had something with the United States.
Okay.
And then he came back, and that's how they bought the house and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Because my thought was, is it like a new money, old money thing, or is it just a money versus no money thing?
I think it's money versus no money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, would there ever be a scenario where the Kims could acquire enough to be good enough to someone like the Parks, or would it never
No,
matter?
I think it would never matter because the stench is always there.
Which is so fascinating to take, like, an intangible concept and turn it into such this tangible thing that trails throughout the entire movie and just
Oh,
like
yeah.
builds and builds and builds. And to see Mr. Kim's face, even when he's driving the
Mhm.
mom
Yep.
on that last day for the party doing the errands, and it's like building and building, and he
Right.
sees her put the window down and like make the face. And then that final straw where he can't take it when
Oh,
Mr. Park does it towards the other guy
yeah,
that
exactly.
he's just been stabbed
Yeah.
and he, like, can't handle it and snaps.
Well, and it's funny because mom was sitting in the back with her shoes off.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and the
"Bitch, that could be
stench was
your
still
feet that smell.
exactly,
How do we know it's
exactly.
him that
Because it's
smells?"
breezing right in your face, so yeah,
100%.
but no.
Oh, so fascinating.
Yeah, and it's almost like, today's society, when you're walking past a homeless person,
Sure.
you have that preconceived idea. You don't know what their
That's
why
true.
what got them there, but you're
Right.
just like, "I don't wanna touch you, I don't even wanna talk to you."
I think that's a good point in that I think there is this idea that, like, if you have an odor, it's because you're poor.
Right, right.
Like, we've equated those things together as, like, part of the bias and the
Yeah,
classism. Is that it somehow automatically means you're beneath me.
right, exactly.
And in this movie, literally,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Because I
right,
love how the movie uses the structures to mirror this concept of the classism and the levels,
right.
right? So, like, the Kims and the housewife's husband are underground because
Yeah,
they're so far beneath a family like the Parks.
exactly.
It's just so many layers that is so, I think, well done.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The smell thing really stood out to me this time too of just like, it's so snobby.
I know. It's like, what is your problem?
Right. Although the one part I thought was interesting, even though I know it's in the same vein, was that the little boy could tell they smelled the same.
Yes.
So I don't remember interpreting it as he was saying they smelled bad. He was just saying they smelled similar.
Right. And it's like the parents weren't getting that. It's like, well, why do they smell similar?
Right.
Yeah.
They're looking at it from, again, I think the class
Hmm.
perspective. But I more liked it in that first introduction because it's like a little clue, right? Where the
Yeah.
little kid in all of his innocence is like, why do you have the same soap smell?
Right.
Like I was
Exactly.
thinking of it in that vein,
Yeah.
because they live together and they wash all their clothes together. But it's really, again, that permeating theme throughout the movie that the smell makes them lesser people.
Right.
Oh,
And there was a couple things like speaking of the son, he was figuring out the Morse code, but they never
yes.
really went into it.
You're right. I thought that was interesting too. Is like he's a scout and he sees, or a little Cub Scout, and he
Yeah.
sees the lights go up, but then nothing ever really happens from that.
Well, he was writing it down. He was figuring out the Morse code.
Oh, I thought you meant the little son.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was writing it down too. Oh, you're right. He
Mhm.
spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
It was like Hope me,
Yeah. Yeah.
HOLP me.
But
You're
he
right.
never talked to the parents. They just kind of,
You're
that
right.
was the only weird part. Not the only weird part about the movie, but one of the weird parts. It's like, okay, you just stopped.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder what the reasoning would be that he wouldn't take it to his parents.
Probably because his parents, well, look at mom. She wouldn't believe him.
Yeah,
She
I had
believed
that thought too.
everything else.
It's just like everything has to be surface level and perfect,
Yeah.
and they would probably just like pat him on the head and
Yeah.
chalk it up to his trauma.
Right. And let him do whatever he wants anyway.
That's true.
Look at the tent in the back.
I know.
It's like,
Well, and there were like these weird moments where the park's mom would say, like, oh, we're doing all this to appease a child,
yeah.
and, like he gets this much say, but then he does. So there
Right.
were like these weird contradicting scenes.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's almost like she had enough insight into how they were operating,
Right.
but clearly not enough to care.
Right. And then it's like, why did they have sex on the couch? What
Oh,
was the
that
point in
part
that?
is crazy. My guess is the whole reason they do is to highlight again their classism and how they see all these people as beneath them. Because the part that really stood out to me was the turn on for them was thinking about the cheap underwear that was in the limo.
Yeah.
And then her being like, yeah, take me and buy me drugs. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
that's your kink. It's like to, again, shit on the cheap panties and
Right.
the, stupid limo driver
Yeah.
and whatever girl he picked up in the car who was on drugs
Right.
is
Exactly.
hot now.
Yeah.
So we're going to like use this for our sexual fantasy.
Yeah. No matter what they look like.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like all about us being above them
Right.
and them being below us.
And they weren't
Which,
worried about the kid coming in.
no.
So,
Yeah. And even in that, how it's framed, they're above them on the couch.
right.
And
Exactly.
the other three are on the ground
Underneath.
underneath the
Yeah.
table trying to hide for their
Right.
lives.
Which still would have been uncomfortable listening to
Oh,
all
it would have
that.
been awful.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
Yeah.
But I took it as it was just another way to highlight to us, the viewers,
Mhm.
how I guess kind of just like not dissociated, but more just removed from everyday society the husband and wife were.
Right.
That it's like, again, a joke for them to look down on others as a kink for their sexual
Amusement.
escapade.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just ugh, so gross.
Well, it's kind of like back in the Grecian days with the gladiators.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just put two people in the middle of the
Yep.
stadium and have them kill themselves.
Yep. Fight each other to death for our enjoyment.
Yeah.
I mean, even in slave times, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how we had Mandingo fights. Just
exactly.
pick two of our, strongest slaves and have them fight to the death for our entertainment.
Right.
Like I really had that sensation of this is just another way that they use their wealth and position to, they fired this man and basically ruined his life.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious to them or a turn on to them to think about his escapades, which never even happened.
Right. Exactly.
As, like something hot.
Yeah.
Like it was just,
And
I
the
found
driver
them to be
was,
so gross this time.
yeah, and the driver was just trying to be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other terrible part too, is that the Kims have to basically leave a trail of destruction
Yeah.
to get what they want too.
Right. So it doesn't matter class-wise,
Yes.
you're always trying to get what you want in your circle.
Yep. Which actually leads into one of my questions. You said it perfectly, is that a lot of what they did through the movie was exploit weaknesses in other people, like
Right.
the driver trying to be nice. Really even the Kim family, not that I or sorry, the Park family, not that I think they were trying to be nice, they were good at exploitation.
Oh, yeah.
So through the movie, like how much did you find yourself rooting for them or being judgmental of them? And like how do you think it made you think about like desperation and choices?
It kind of made me feel with desperation that most people will do whatever they need to do to
Yeah.
get to where they want
Yeah.
or get what they want.
Yeah.
And they definitely did that. Start with the forgery, and then it's funny because he started tutoring the daughter and then fell in love with the daughter after his best friends said
Yeah.
exactly like when she gets of age, he's gonna
Ask her
ask
out.
her out. And it's like, well, you're almost trying to have sex with her in her room.
I know that part landed for me different too. I think for those two reasons was that he seemed like he was a friend.
Yeah,
Kevin was actually a friend to the other guy,
men.
Min,
Yeah,
yeah. But then within 2 days,
yeah, he
he's basically
totally
like putting
changed.
the moves on this
Yeah,
girl. And first of all, that's your friend's like person that he's already said he's into.
right.
So what are we doing? And
Yeah,
then second of all, she's so young.
right.
It's really uncomfortable.
Well, and I didn't know, and that it was uncomfortable for me too. And I was like, okay, how old is she supposed to be,
15.
and how old is Kevin supposed to be?
He already
Because
served.
university, but do they serve young?
I think he had to be 18, but
Okay,
he
yeah,
couldn't get into university. He
right,
wasn't too young for it. He
okay,
just hadn't tested in yet. There's
yeah,
something in the beginning when Min and him are having drinks,
uh-huh.
and he says something like, I think the 4 years you served,
Right, right.
which I think makes him, let's just say, roughly 20, 21.
And they were drinking, so
Right. And I don't know their drinking age in Korea,
oh
actually.
yeah, I don't either.
But the way I interpreted it was that he served at least one term
Hmm.
and tested into the university at least twice
Yeah,
and couldn't get in.
right.
So, if anything, he's at least 3 years older than her.
Yeah,
I'm going to say 6
yeah.
by the math.
And
So,
that was
both
just
of those
weird.
parts made it hard for me to root for him because he's backstabbing his friend who
Yeah,
gave him this
right.
opportunity and then preying on this young teenager
Yeah,
to make himself feel better, to like
right.
fit in.
Yeah, and then it also makes me wonder with the daughter,
Yeah,
she liked men, and now she likes Kevin.
true, 100%.
Yeah,
But she's 15.
yeah, a
I
lot
think
on
the
what's going
idea
on
is
there.
that she's like, "Oh, this is like a cool, educated guy who
Yeah,
speaks English and is smart
right,
and pays attention to me
right.
in this chaotic family that I live in."
Yeah,
I think she probably just liked whoever was paying attention to
that's true.
her. Because even with like the texting and everything, like
Yeah,
she just always wanted him to come over
with the birthday party,
for the
yeah,
birthday party, and
yeah,
then she didn't wanna go down to the party, she just wanted to stay up in the room with him,
right.
so, at least for her character, I read it more as just, like, she's the forgotten kid and, like,
Oh, yeah,
lonely, because it's all about the little brother
right, exactly.
since his trauma.
Yeah, yeah, so she's doing bad grades just because she doesn't want it.
I think she just likes the tutoring.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
That was my take on
Yeah,
it, but I think I had a harder part with, like it was hard for me to root for the Kims even though I understood their desperation and I had empathy for their desperation, the way they had to exploit people, especially Kevin,
yeah,
took a pretty quick turn for me of just like, I don't know that he has any morals and values of his own
right.
other than trying to get his family out of poverty, which of course
Yeah,
matters. But I think the storyline with him and the daughter turned me off so
yeah,
much
it did.
that I had a harder time being like, you're doing the best you can with what you have.
Right, yeah.
I
They
was
were
like,
they were overkilling us.
so much predatory behavior.
Yeah,
And again, even the Kim's daughter, like planting the underwear and like
yeah,
really ruining that man's
right,
life
for no reason.
and then making it look like he's a pervert and
Yeah,
a drug addict. And it was just like, oh gosh, he kind of seemed like maybe the only legit person out of everybody,
yeah,
at least from what we find out.
right, exactly.
Because the maid we find out is
Cuckoo.
cuckoo for Cocoa
Yeah,
Puffs at
exactly,
the end of the day. So even though I felt bad for her at the time when they took her job, we find out she had her own nefarious stuff going on
exactly.
underneath literally the surface.
Right, exactly.
Oh, so wild.
Yeah,
Let's see. So, kind of the flip side of that, the Park family's never really depicted as villains. They're just completely oblivious.
Right.
So, I'm wondering, like, how you felt about that depiction of them and, like, how you interpreted their obliviousness and just their role in the whole situation.
I kind of took it as it's kind of standard. I feel
Yeah.
in today's society, you're so rich that nothing really bothers you,
Yeah.
and you're not paying attention to anything because you don't have to, because money answers all that.
That's a good point because they definitely had this air of being untouchable
Yeah.
that, for the outside viewer watching, I think is fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Like, never really stopping to question anything,
Right. Yeah.
like, from start to finish.
Well, and the dad was too busy.
That's a good point too.
And so the mom was supposed to be, but she's drunk or on drugs or
Whatever was
just
up with her.
napping all the time. So
I know, I was really wondering because they never, like, show her self-medicate,
yeah,
but I just felt this real strong sense that, again, it's that trope of, like, this lonely housewife who's at home,
right.
who's just medicating with, like, wine and
Hmm.
Xanax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, American trad housewife trope, right? Like, from every American Style story, but I was curious about her just, like, seemingly inability to just be present.
I don't think she knew how.
Yeah, which I do wish we had more of, like, her history and her
Yeah.
family and even how they met. I
Right.
guess it's not as pertinent to the story, we just kind of take them as a package,
Yeah.
but my brain always goes to, like, again, is this new money? Is it
Right.
old money? Has it always been this way? Was this her life as a little girl too, of just kind of, like, leisure and
Right.
housemaids and all this kind of stuff?
They seem super, super comfortable. So I'm almost feeling like this is
Yeah.
just standard.
Yeah, I had that thought too. But what do you think about the idea of them as villains?
Are they though? I don't know. They're living their lives the way they know how. So
Yeah.
that I think that money just, I don't know if it necessarily makes them villains. It's just more of a, we're here, we're living, we're rich,
Yeah.
and we have no problems.
And I think it's probably not a clear yes or no.
Right.
And maybe because of, like, I think my own biases now with, like, how the world is operating, I just find it so averse, or I feel averse to
Hmm.
that level of wealth.
Yeah.
And of course, not everybody who's ultra wealthy is the same. And I think that we've gotten into this place where there is such an air of, I don't even know what the correct word would be, of, like, it doesn't affect me.
Arrogance.
I guess. I feel like there's another word, like imperviousness,
Oh,
like, we
yeah.
can't be hurt, we can't have the same problems because we're so wealthy.
Right.
I think that's the part that I'm struggling with for them as characters, but then, like, on a larger scale.
Yeah.
This idea that, like, if it's not in my backyard, it doesn't affect me.
Right. Exactly.
We've, like, something has happened where this mass amount of money has become equated with a loss of humanity.
Right.
And I think that's what landed so hard for me rewatching it this time, was even though I was very critical of how the Kims were operating,
Yeah.
it was also hard for me to have empathy for the Parks because they just didn't seem to care about anybody.
Right.
Everybody was disposable.
Hmm.
And there's even the line where the wife is saying, like, you just come up with an excuse. It seems to be an effective tactic
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
something. I can't phrase it
Because they've done it.
exactly.
They've done it more than
So many
once. Yeah.
times. And I think that's the part that, like, even though they were being scammed, I couldn't feel for them because they just didn't seem to feel for anybody else.
Right.
And that's the part that I am struggling with, that, like, something has happened where it's almost like the American dream is to get the money to have the privilege to not care.
I could see that, and they were doing a great job at it.
Yeah, their version of the American dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the products that they were getting, the TP, the Cub Scouts, a couple other things, all came from America.
Well, and I did laugh out loud when the dad asks if he thinks the tent will leak.
Oh
And
yeah.
she goes, "We ordered it from the
From the US.
USA and we're fine." And I'm like, ask anybody in the USA.
They're
We're
gonna
like,
have
we
to see
ordered
that.
it from China. We don't
Exactly.
trust anything made in the USA.
Right.
But apparently other people still look at us as, like, the pillar of,
Yeah. Yeah.
production or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think maybe the money and the class is the villain.
Yeah, it is.
And the Parks are, I don't want to say victims, but they are symptoms
Yeah.
of a larger problem
Right.
as opposed to just the problem themselves.
Well, because there's no way that they could have lived like the Kims were living.
Oh, yeah,
It
no,
just
for sure.
yeah, and the Kims tried to live as the
Yeah, like
Parks
the
were doing, and
parks.
they just didn't know because they're not used to it.
Yeah,
So it's just kinda you see those definite levels all the
yeah.
time, even in reality.
Well, and I'm not gonna say his name correctly, and I wish I had written it down, but the director, who also won Best Director,
Mhm.
um, was in an interview and talking about how they built that house just for this movie
Really?
because he wanted full control of how everything was going to move and the cameras and everything. They actually built the semi basement home for the Kims and the entire like house for the parks. Well,
Uh,
maybe not the second story. That was a CGI from the outside and then a
okay.
soundstage, but the entire first floor where most of the action
Yeah,
happens was like a practical stage.
that's crazy.
But his point was that he wanted, like, all these fine things in the home
Mhm.
to communicate the park's wealth, and there's multiple articles about him talking about that trash can
Huh,
that was $2,500 for this fancy ass trash can that's, like, silent and opens and closes, and that he felt uncomfortable even being in the space as the director being around that level of wealth, even though it was fake for the movie, but
wow.
that it like created the exact same sense of discomfort that
Hmm,
he was looking to capture on film.
yeah, that's
And
crazy.
I thought that was so fascinating
Yeah,
of like, I'm sure at this point now, I mean, I don't know his wealth status, but he's probably pretty
yeah,
wealthy. But it was interesting to hear him talk about like as a director, like how foreign that felt to him to
yeah,
be in a space that they created, but because of all the fine finishes and the $2,500 trash can, like he didn't even feel comfortable shooting in it.
right.
And it created the same like discomfort he was hoping to capture.
That's crazy.
I
But
know.
it probably with all that though, it came across in the film perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was so, like, sterile
right.
and
And
perfect.
2,500, where are you getting this trash can from?
Well, that too, I'm sure some fancy schmancy designer place.
I can get that off of Amazon for like 20 bucks.
I mean, maybe, but you have to look it up. Maybe there's a $2,500 trash can on
Yeah,
Amazon
yeah,
because of all the things that it does.
yeah. It better
Um,
come and pick up the trash itself
yeah,
for
it's so
that.
interesting. That would be crazy if it, like, goes outside. I don't even wanna think about that. Now we're getting into my worst nightmares of technology.
Which is a different movie.
Exactly. Okay, so kind of going back to the Kims, they have become fluent in performing a version of themselves that they know the parks want to see. So they create this sort of competency, a culture, and they are totally invisible in their actual struggle. So I wonder what you thought about their facade and how they had to like subvert and sacrifice kind of what they were really going through just to fit in.
I think it's very common because I think people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, because we work with other people all the time. We might not necessarily like them,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we're almost like a chameleon for the actual area of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I love most of my clients, but some of them you'll never know that I don't like them.
Sure.
So
You're
and
good at the mask.
you have to be.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, the idea that we often have to perform just to even access spaces that we're not really supposed to be in or wouldn't normally be welcome into?
I like those spaces because being African American, there's a lot of spaces that people don't think that we should be in.
Yeah.
And I'll walk into a room, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure that everybody knows who I am and why I'm here.
I had that exact thought. Like, for me, it automatically goes to the race conversation, and how the code switching and, like,
Yeah,
all the pressure that I think Black people have to deal with, and this is true, I think, of a lot of minorities, but
yeah,
just speaking from my experience as a Black person is, like, you have to know how to maneuver into all these spaces that maybe a white majority would rather you not be in the first place,
right.
but since they sort of have to let you in now
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes,
Yeah,
you have to maneuver and almost chameleon yourself to fit in, and yet it still takes a toll on us and it costs you
right.
something.
Yeah. Because it almost chips away at your soul,
Yes.
unfortunately. But
Yeah.
we still do it. We still have to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll ever stop, honestly.
And I agree, and I think this movie was really only tackling the class and the money,
Hmm.
and the underlying theme is still the same,
Right.
right? You can intersect class, race, gender, and it just
Oh,
gets bigger and bigger, but my first thought was this is the same experience, I think, at least in our country, of Black and brown Americans trying to navigate white spaces where it's very clear you're not welcome,
Right.
that you're going to take up that space no matter what.
Yeah.
But how do you do it? And even in some cases, how do you do it safely?
Right.
Because we're getting into this place now. I have this conversation a lot with patients who are LGBTQ.
Mhm.
Like, you may not be able to be your true self at work,
Right.
but you have to work.
Mhm.
So if you have to wear a mask at work every day,
Yeah.
knowing that you wouldn't really be accepted in that space, like, what does it cost you? Even though you know you still have to have a job.
Right. And it gets tiring, and
Yes.
work does not understand that. They
Right.
just want the job done no matter what.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, great, I'll do the job, but don't ask me personal questions, or don't get on me about stuff because I'm having troubles. You don't want to hear about the troubles.
Right.
You
And if
just
you don't
want to
really
do the
see me
job.
as a person
Right.
or want to see me as a person, you just see
Exactly.
me as this role, which I think does tie into all the roles,
Right.
literally,
Yeah.
that the Kim family were plugged
Oh, yeah.
into
And I can
just to play that
feel
dutiful blank.
well, and I can feel kind of what they're talking about, because I've been in those situations. I'm not ultra rich by any means, but like I'll
For sure.
yeah, but I'll go into a room. I've gone into rooms with just my regular clothes on,
Yeah.
and you get kind of like the you're here, but then I'll come in my professional wear,
Yep.
and it's a completely different conversation.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you could finish a sentence. Okay.
Oh my God. I know.
That's just kind of the how I feel.
You speak so well.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
for what?
Yeah, how did you think I was going to speak?
Yes.
And which goes to the smell.
Yes, I think
So
that's a great
yeah,
point. And even in this one, a part that stood out to me and landed different this time was when they're down in the basement with the old housekeeper and they're discovering the husband, and the old housekeeper keeps calling the Kim's mom sis
yeah,
to, like, hey, we're the same, we're the
right,
same. She's
right,
like, don't call me sis,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
call me sis. And she's like threatening to call the police.
right,
Then the kids fall down the stairs and they get caught.
right.
And then she calls the old housekeeper sis.
Hmm.
And she's like, don't call me sis, you fucking bitch.
Right, exactly.
And she's recording them on her
Right.
phone. But, like, I think even that was where the race tone came through
Hmm.
of, like, we're the same and we're both poor. We're
Yeah,
both phonies. And one is still trying to posture that she's better than her.
right,
And she's even standing up while the other woman's crouched down.
right.
So there's even that same, I think, a beautiful structure of direction of, like, she's above her
Hmm.
saying, like, don't call me sis, about to call the
Yeah,
police. And then now they're on the same level.
yeah.
And she's like, don't call me sis. You're fucking crazy
Exactly,
too.
exactly.
I just felt like it was so relevant to
Well,
now.
yeah, because Black people as a culture, we don't. Some of us don't want to see others succeed,
Well, there's that too.
which just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And so we're willing to pull down and pull down and pull down
Yeah.
back to what to what? I don't know. Ground floor?
Yeah. Well, there actually is some psychology around, like, it's called the minority stress theory,
Hmm.
which is that when you're in a minority group, it's easier to turn against another minority, someone who's equally oppressed, than it is to turn against the oppressor.
Right.
And so I do think there is psychology around, like, it's easier to fight ourselves
Yeah.
than it is to band together and fight the oppressor, because it's just so ingrained that we'll never win that fight,
Right.
which is kind of what I think this movie was talking about too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the heartbreaking part about the ending,
Hmm.
is it just reinforces that they're never going to get out of their situation.
Right. And the oppressors don't care,
Correct.
because if you guys are going to fight amongst yourselves,
Correct.
that's less stuff that we have to handle.
I agree. Although it's interesting, I think that the decision they made in the movie was to also have Mr. Park be killed.
Yeah.
So they didn't walk away unscathed. So there
Right.
was, like, a little thread of it did cost them too,
Right. Yeah.
not just the Kims.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it's just so, again, like, I kept thinking Shakespeare when I rewatched, of, like, this powder keg of
Hmm.
this little step and this little step, and one misinterpretation and one misstep leads to this massive explosion.
Right.
Very like
Shakespeare.
Romeo and Juliet.
Well, and he liked to kill a lot of people.
He
in that
did.
stuff.
And
So,
all from, like, again, one
right.
misinterpretation
Yeah.
or one final step that was off by, like, a millimeter.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then everybody dies.
Right. Right.
One misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
see.
if the housekeeper's husband had not come upstairs
Yep.
and knocked out Kevin,
Yep.
they might have gotten away with more
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So
And I think it's, like, again, because he went down there to get this, like, final closure,
mhm.
he then unearths, literally,
Yeah.
the tool that ends up taking him down
Right.
and killing his sister and killing Mr. Park.
Right. And it's funny that the daughter grabbed him and was walking him out,
Yes.
and he's bleeding all over the place.
Yes. But if he'd never gone down there, I mean, the old housekeeper had already died, sadly, from
Right.
her concussion.
Yeah.
I don't know that the husband would have survived down there.
I don't think so because they wouldn't have opened the door,
Right.
and
And he was
nobody knew.
already bashing his head to the point that he was bleeding to
Yeah.
do the Morse code. It's almost like Kevin's need to rectify the situation
Mhm.
creates the scenario that ruins everything for all of them.
Right.
And that's the part to me that feels Shakespearean.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And dad said, "Don't have a plan."
Right.
And he didn't listen.
Nope. He felt like he was required, and maybe that's a cultural thing too that I
Mhm.
can't speak intelligently on. And I was having that thought too, like I don't know Korean culture enough, but I wonder if it was almost like in their culture a sense of honor or duty to fix the situation for the family because it was him that started it.
Right. Well, and that doesn't even need to be Korean because it's just he felt bad because he had started this whole thing
Yeah.
and it just kept blowing up in his face.
Yeah. It just got so out of control so
Yeah.
fast. How much time do you think went by in the whole movie? I was trying to think that too.
I want to say it's got to be at least a month, maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So it's relatively fast though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they upended this entire Park family's life
Yeah.
by inserting themselves, and then also really destroyed their own family. I was thinking the same thing, 4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
like just powder keg.
Yeah. And I thought at one point when they were inserting themselves, I thought they were just going to kill the Park family.
Interesting. The dark, dark, dark
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, the horror
Yeah.
version.
And just kind of be them and nobody would know.
Interesting. That would be fascinating. That's a almost like Black Mirror version.
Yeah, because who would have known? Nobody would have somebody probably would have come around because Park is,
Yeah,
big
he
on the
seemed pretty
psychology.
well known.
Yeah,
So they would probably miss him.
yeah.
But I don't know yet about the kids. Maybe the wife?
They
She
wouldn't
didn't
have
really
missed her.
seem included in anything.
No.
So wild.
Yeah, and she hadn't seen her friends in a long time. You
You're
could tell that.
right. She says that at the lunch party or
Mhm.
the garden party, whatever.
Yeah,
So
and
fascinating.
she put a face on for that. "Oh, look
Oh,
at
for
it,
sure.
you haven't seen I told you not to buy, presents, blah, 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 blah." It's like, okay.
When I really love the tension that builds in that scene where she's running the errands
Yeah,
and Mr. Kim is literally hanging on by a thread because of what they just went through the night before
right,
and
yeah,
sleeping in the
mhm,
auditorium. Um, and then her obliviousness
yeah,
again of like, oh, we'll get champagne and we'll get
yeah,
caviar and
exactly.
yeah, come in your best outfits. We'll get day drunk. Ha 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 ha
Yeah,
ha. And no presents. It's not even really for her son
right.
at that point.
No,
It's just a reason for her to have a party
exactly,
out of
and
nowhere.
feel important.
And even Mr. Kim says that to Mr. Park when they're hiding in the bushes in
Mhm.
their ridiculous Indian costumes. We haven't talked about that yet. And he's just like, this party's really important to her for some reason.
Yeah,
And the husband's like, basically, stay in your lane.
right.
Like, you're getting paid extra to be here. Don't
Right,
complain.
exactly.
It's just so fascinating how I think it was directed and written and everything stacks up
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
perfectly. Like, I really appreciated it.
And the husband was, kind of wanted to do whatever he wanted to do, but when she started getting that spark of wanting to do stuff, then he was fine with it,
That's true.
and that was after they had sex on the couch.
That's true too.
Yeah.
I do think it seemed like his entire goal was just to keep her happy, but I mean happy in terms of like low maintenance.
Yeah, take care of the kids, make sure
Yeah.
everything in the house is good,
And then just
and
buy
leave me
whatever you
alone.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can't remember who they were talking about. I think it was the first driver, the panty incident, where he's
Mhm.
like, don't you pay him a lot of money?
Right.
Like, she's also just given free reign to pay people whatever they want
Yeah,
to
exactly.
make everything smooth, which I found interesting too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. A few more. So violence erupts in the film at the end, not from a place of evil, but really from years of accumulated humiliation. I
Mhm.
keep calling it a powder keg, but like reaching that final boiling point.
Right.
So kind of what do you think about violence as a result of, you could say even just in their lives, years of humiliation or generations of oppression?
I would say I'm never gonna say violence is justified, but
Yeah.
you people like to push and push and push, and then
Yeah.
they think nothing else is gonna happen. You
Right.
see it all over the internet.
Yeah.
There's a site out there that says "Leave Black people alone," and you get these people that just keep pushing, 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 and
Yeah.
you have a person saying, "Just leave me alone,"
Yeah.
and after a while, they get hurt, and then it's like, oh, then they wanna cry the victim. You should have left your hands to yourself.
I think that's a good point is like because again we're talking about the nuances of like no one's really the villain, the
Right.
situation is the villain, and so it's like the acts at the end aren't necessarily evil and they're not okay.
Right.
So it's just like a very intricate dynamic of like people can only take so
Mhm.
much before they can't take anymore.
Right.
And I think that's the part I do have empathy for, and I think it was done very well in the
Oh, yeah.
film.
No, I totally agree. And
Yeah.
most of us, even pushed, we're gonna get to a certain point, and then we're just gonna stop
Yeah.
because we don't wanna go to jail.
Sure.
We don't wanna get murdered, stuff like that. But the husband downstairs, he was already not all
I think
there.
he was already broken
Yeah.
by the time he was coming out into the daylight for the first time.
Right. His wife just died, and there was
Yeah.
nothing he could do.
Ugh, and that was brutal too, like, even though clearly she was not well,
Yeah.
but the way she died and being kicked down the stairs
I
and
knew
the
she was dead.
concussion and oh,
I knew she was dead at
oh, it
that
was
point.
just so brutal where
Yeah.
she's like, "Honey, I have a concussion.
Yeah, it's like, "No,
Don't
no."
forget her name," and it's like she's not gonna make it through the night.
Yeah, her brain is coming out of her
Oh,
head.
oh, it was so bad,
Yeah.
yeah. So kind of bring it all together, Kevin or Kiwoo says at the end that his plan is to earn enough money
Mhm.
to buy the house and free his father. How did you feel about that ending? Was it more hopeful or was it more almost heartbreaking?
It was kinda heartbreaking because it was just like, even after everything that's gone through, your father's hiding,
Yeah.
you guys just got out of jail,
Yeah.
and your sister's dead,
Yeah.
and you still want that life.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Why?
put it. I think I felt more sad looking at it from the perspective that it was impossible.
Yeah,
But I actually think that's a really good point that like he's still striving
right.
for that level
'Cau
after everything they saw.
he wants to appease his dad and make his dad proud. It's like,
Yeah.
dad's fine right now. He's
Well, and
hiding.
I think it's that lore of, again, like the riches and the wealth and all
Yeah,
my problems will go away if I ascend to that
yeah.
level.
Don't get
Ugh.
me wrong, if I had a lot of money, a lot of my problems would be gone.
Oh, for sure. I
But
agree. I mean, I'm not naive enough to say that like money doesn't solve
yeah,
problems, especially in a capitalistic system. It solves a lot of problems.
right,
And we also know that at a certain point, you still have whatever issues you have.
right.
It's just, it's nice to have a house and not have to worry about your food.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
thousand
Yeah,
percent.
exactly.
Shelter and stability matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Money might make the problems bigger, just
yeah,
some of them, but
different.
yeah,
Yeah. So interesting.
yeah.
Let's see. I think we're pretty much there. So as we're wrapping up,
Mhm.
is there anything you think you would have understood differently or would have hit really differently if you'd seen this and maybe when it was new or even in a different financial state in your life?
Um, Financial state? No, I think it would have been the same
Yeah.
because we all came from humble upbringings.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot. I remember some interesting nights of food, but
Yeah.
you just did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's kind of the premise of the movie is they did what they needed to do. They just kind of went at it in a little
It goes off the
that way.
rails
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So,
So a week from now, what image or moment from the movie do you think will live rent free in your head?
I would think the Morse code.
Yeah,
Yeah. No matter what, dad was trying to get that message out.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so
So,
sad.
yeah.
It just felt so sad this time.
Well, and I was like, that was another left turn of the movie when they're walking up to the house, like they bought it already. I'm like, how much time just got passed? You just
I
got out of
know.
jail.
I know. I remember like really being sucked into that and thinking like something miraculous had happened. And
Yeah.
then that word for me was heartbreaking when it cuts back to him and he's still in the semi basement in the
Right.
exact same place. The mom's trying to clean it up still.
Yeah.
Obviously, sister's passed away.
Hmm.
And he's just working on the Morse code. Like it's almost a delusion again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did something to the brain.
That too. I was thinking how much of it is the brain surgery or how much of it is just that blind hope because he can't really cope with reality
Right.
anymore.
He just started laughing.
Oh gosh, it
Uh,
reminded me of Joker. It was like
Yeah,
that trauma
yeah,
response where like you're so distressed that you just laugh.
right.
And it's
And
so incongruent.
I've been there
Yeah,
because sometimes laughing makes it so you don't do something worse.
for sure.
So,
It's like a different type of coping
yeah,
mechanism.
exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Any last thoughts on the film?
No, I'm glad that you suggested it, and I'm glad I checked it out.
Yeah.
I didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yep.
Even reading the trailer part, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. And then I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, I really was glad we picked it too because it was a good rewatch, like I was saying, of how I actually liked it a lot more this time. And I
Yeah.
liked it when I saw it the first
Hmm.
time, but like I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it felt so much more affecting
Right.
this time,
Yeah.
where I had just so much more emotion around it.
Yeah. I could see
And
that.
just like the dread, but then also just that despair of like it's so hopeless trying to get out of this
Right.
system.
Yeah. Just like a whirlpool. Yeah.
Exactly. Just
The
yeah.
one funny part is you said it was all on subtitles. I'm like, I watch TV with subtitles all the time
That's
now
true, you
anyway.
did say that. I wanted to give you a heads up because some people would be like, "No, I'm not watching this
Oh,
movie in
no.
subtitles."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not that I'm losing my hearing because I hear very, very well. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I feel like some of these programs are a little muted,
Yeah.
so it's easier just to subtitle it. And I
Yeah.
work on other stuff, and
I get that
it's like
too.
I've already read what you're going to say. Let me go back to what I was doing.
I do like it. I've actually become quite fond of it as well.
Yeah,
I think sometimes a lot of the action in the movie or show is so loud that the
yeah,
dialogue is harder to hear, especially on TV.
right.
And so I've become a subtitle girl too.
Yeah.
Even in English, I'm just like chilling with the
Oh, yeah.
subtitles.
And then when it's not on, you're like messing with the remote. It's like, why is this not on?
Yeah, it's like it's also not loud enough
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
to hear the speaking from
Right.
the other background sounds and
Yeah.
everything.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So one thing I'm doing with everybody is asking what's a movie that you love that maybe I haven't seen? I'm compiling a list because my hope is kind of on the second wave of the podcast. I'll have people back. I will watch the movie for my homework,
Okay.
and then you get to ask me some questions.
Ah, wow.
So if you can't really think of anything, you can send it to me later. And I've just
Yeah.
been asking everybody on the spot.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send it to you.
That's fair.
Because that's the other thing. You watch as many movies as I
I
do.
know.
So
But I'm just like this.
Yeah.
I'll find one
Right,
that either
right.
just flew under my radar or maybe I thought it was one thing and never saw it and then it actually isn't.
Yeah.
You just never know. So it's been fun getting some movies assigned to me.
There's one. I think it's called My Life, and I forgot the guy that's in it, but it's basically he finds out that he has terminal cancer.
Oof.
And so
Heavy.
he makes a video for his child that's coming.
Oh God.
And he goes back to spots where he grew up and stuff like that.
I don't think I've seen that movie. So
Okay.
if that's the title.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called My Life.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can
I'll
put
make
that
sure.
on the list.
Yeah,
It sounds
so-
like a really sad, depressing.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Try to pick one to kill me right out
I'm
the
like,
gate.
who's cutting onions in here?
I'll just be like hysterically
Yeah,
crying.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay. Awesome. Well, the other thing I wanted to do is you and I have been having great conversations because you also just published your first book.
I did.
And I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell everybody about it because I think it's really exciting. I have a copy right here. I'm keeping it in my office because I want my patients to have access to it as well. But yeah, I would just want to give you a chance to tell everybody about it and what would be a good reason for them to pick it up. It's a nice tone shift from the movie.
Yes, yes. Well, maybe because it's a motivational book, so it's kind of like it. Keep going, keep doing what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Legal things.
Legal, yes, yes. But yeah, no, thank you. It's been out about a month. I've been working on it for past 3 years.
Yeah.
It kind of came from my Facebook posts.
Yep.
Because I've always been positive on my Facebook posts for the most part because I don't want somebody having a bad day to come to my posts
Yeah.
and then see I'm having a bad day and you feel bad. I want you to, if you're having a bad day, come to my posts and see something that just resonates with you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, well, he's doing good. Well, I can kind of look at my situation as well.
Right. It's a nice
So,
perspective
Yeah,
shift.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I took them and compiled a book out of it and called it Motivate My Soul.
Yeah.
And
So exciting.
Yeah. So it's still a little unreal
Yeah.
Yeah. People keep calling me author, and I'm like, am I the?
Officially, yes, you are. You're
Yeah.
not only an author, you're a published author, and
Yeah.
that's really a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. And you didn't have to lie or cheat or break into anyone's house to
No,
do it.
I didn't say that. Kidding, kidding. But no, but it's not for everybody. I tell everybody that I would love for people to pick it up, read it, and then dog ear the pages, find something you like, highlight whatever,
Yeah.
and then maybe if you're having a dark time after you've done, after you've read it, come and pick it back up.
Yeah.
Or if you know somebody that needs some extra
Mhm.
encouragement, hand
Mhm.
them the book. You can always get them. It's on Amazon. You can always get more books.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to kind of build a brand. So there's other stuff coming. I just can't really say
That's
too much right at the
exciting
moment.
too,
Yeah.
though.
So
Yeah. So where can our listeners find you?
easily, it's the book is on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Motivate My Soul.
Perfect.
T Young. I didn't go by the government name.
And what about on social? Where can they find the posts?
Social, they can either strive forward
Okay.
or motivate my soul
Perfect.
on Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out with
That
me.
was fun.
Thanks for listening to another episode. If you are following along, I would love for you to like, subscribe, leave some comments available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and YouTube. You can find me on IG at Dr. Murphy, and you can follow the pod at Scene Interpretation Pod on Instagram as well. Really exciting, lining up more guests for July and August. There's so many movies I'm excited to talk with about people. I just have to grab more people to come and talk about them with me. Thanks for hanging out again and hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, bye.